Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.
Prepare you for a toasty week here for the dog days of summer. Now, the heat will help fire up some afternoon storms. We'll have more on that in just a minute. But first, we want to start in the Mid-Atlantic, where the Weather Channel's Justin Michaels is live in Washington, D.C., where the day is already starting out hot. And Justin, you know, you're right on the Potomac there. And I'm guessing that's giving you a smidge of maybe some cooler temperatures. You know, have you felt the water? Is it warm? Is it cool? Mine was when the rearview mirror falls off. I'll have to ask Jim if he has a "it's so hot when." And by the way, we do have cold fronts that are coming through. I feel like we need to air quote that, though, because these aren't really cold fronts. They're not going to be knocking down our temperatures really much. Now, we do have a little bit of cooler air right through the northern tier, all right? And we do have some of those temperatures that aren't as cold, or, you know, as hot, I should say. But it's not like we have a true cold front sweeping on through that's going to cool us off here. Still building into the middle of the country as we head into the week. Temperatures, you know, at 90 degrees right up into North Dakota. It's actually going to be hotter in the Dakotas than it is going to be in some places in the South. That is hot. You know it's hot when Rapid City is hotter than Atlanta, right?
You want one?
Oh, you got yours? Are you ready for yours? What is yours?
It's so hot when Jen Carfagno doesn't have to wear an extra layer in the studio. That's when you know
that
it's
actually
hot.
is a good one. For those of you who are new to the show, Jen is always freezing. A lot of times she wears 2 jackets in the studio. It's because she's just so cold. All right, let's talk about where it's going to be hot. Kansas City, it's not like we're going to see record heat necessarily, but it's that duration of those warm temperatures, you know, for an extended time. In Chicago, we get a little break here and there, but we jump back to 10 degrees above average as we head into our Sunday. And as you can see, it lasts all the way through the end of July. Now, all this extreme heat can be dangerous to the body, especially for young athletes playing sports outside. Tomorrow morning on Amhq, how to keep your kids safe in the sweltering summer heat. But first to Felicia with what's new this morning.
Thanks, Steph. Let's head to the upper Midwest, where you're getting a chance to dry out and cool down a bit today. Rounds of severe thunderstorms hammered the region over the weekend. New this morning, 143,000 homes and businesses in Michigan started this Monday without electricity.
Well, there you have it. Something new for you.
I'm heading to Paris.
Yeah.
Let's
go.
Let's figure
Let's get
it
a
out.
reservation. At least get us a chair on one of the decks.
That's right. Weather Channel, I need to be sent to Paris. I'm just letting you guys know. So let's talk about where you might have to deal with unhappy weather travel if you are traveling through that 95 corridor there through New England, this little highlighted area across portions of Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. You guys have that chance for some storms to pack a little bit of a punch as we head into the afternoon. You've already had some rain, a few little light showers there moving out over the Cape, around Providence. You've had a few showers already moving through this morning. Springfield, you're stuck in the rain currently, but it's really just light showers. You certainly will run into some wet spots on the road, but it's nothing that's too crazy this morning. It's later this afternoon. We'll get some daytime heating around this boundary that's kind of hanging out, and that could help to spark up some of these storms. Now, you'll notice the model isn't too gung-ho about this, but I will say you do have plenty of ingredients coming together that could make those storms bubble up, especially through the afternoon. So whether you're in Hartford, Providence, up into Boston, just keep your eye on the chance for some of those storms, which actually it might be kind of welcome because it's been so hot there, still dealing with that heat. But Steph, we've got to look farther south too, where they're still dealing with some storms.
They are. And a stormy stretch in the Florida Keys. We're talking about a tropical wave expected to move across the Florida Straits, bringing showers and thunderstorms to places like Key West. You already see some of those clouds off in the distance here into Key West, and then it's going to make its way into the Gulf of Mexico. Will it develop into our next same system? Well, let's have a look at what we're dealing with. Now, here's the thing. We actually now have 2 systems that the National Hurricane Center is watching. We have this system right here, very close to land, and then this is our wave that's over the Keys. What's the difference? I want you to look at the winds. When you're talking about a wave, you look for, see this little kind of bump? Kind of goes up and down in the winds. That is basically a little low pressure kind of stretched out. You can think of it like that as a trough. And because it's moving west, our trough bumps up. Instead of when we usually talk about troughs, we talk about how they dip down. It's because it's moving in the opposite direction of what we typically talk about with troughs. And then we have this, our little swirl. You can actually see the low pressure. This is a little more well-defined here. Do we think this thing will get named? No, it's a little too close to land, but it does have a 10% chance of development. Whether it does or doesn't, it does look like it has the potential to bring some flooding rains into Texas and Louisiana. Our second system has a 20% chance of development. First, let's start with the one close to home. You see that there's lightning. There are going to be some bands that are going to rotate in here into the parishes of Louisiana and Texas. So through tomorrow morning, You might get some localized flooding. Here's the moisture associated with system number 1, and then you see the moisture associated with system number 2. That's back down towards the Keys. So the first one comes in. You see how quickly it comes in. It doesn't really have a chance to develop. And then our next one will be going over the Gulf of Mexico, and that's where you have to really watch it, especially this year. 2020, I feel like all bets are off. Now into the Keys, unfortunately, it is going to be cloudy and wet if you're vacationing there, but it doesn't look like you'll have a tropical entity. But you see all that huge surge as we head into our Friday of moisture. And as we look at that energy, okay, it's not well defined. It's not a nice circular system. So though we don't anticipate this being its first name storm, I will tell you this. You never take your eyes off of any type of swirl or extra moisture this time of year in the Gulf of Mexico, especially when temperatures are running so hot. Never. I don't care if it's 20%. These things can pop real quick in the Gulf of Mexico. And as you can see, this is where we do typically get development for this time of year. And I know Jim will definitely probably second me on that one.
Abrams, look at the thing.